Another top story at 5:30 we've been following closely today. A Kentucky lawmaker wants to prevent child sexual abuse by making it easier to arrest the abuser long before it happens.
Now, the behavior is known as grooming, and it's getting more attention nationwide. Here's some information about House Bill 4 filed this week. It defines grooming as the act of an adult manipulating a child, gaining their trust over time to eventually sexually assault them. Now, if passed, House Bill 4 would make grooming illegal, punishable by up to several years in prison. The penalties would be much harsher for offenders who hold positions of authority like a teacher or coach.
WHAS 11's political reporter Isaiah Kim Martinez is at the Kentucky State Capitol tonight talking to those personally impacted by this.
Supporters of House Bill 4 say the mission is to prevent child sexual abuse by stopping the manipulation that can happen months, sometimes years, before the assault. And for 15-year-old Northern Kentuckian Abby Gordon, this issue is deeply personal.
You shouldn't be scared to speak up and advocate for yourself.
Abby, a high school freshman, told me she was groomed, an adult psychologically steering her towards sexual activity. She and her mother were in Frankfurt and both agreed to speak with me on camera about what they experienced.
I think it impacts more people than we know. I think it's something that people don't talk about until it gets to that point where there is no return, where the assault has happened. And in our situation, that wasn't the case, but the trajectory was we were headed there.
Prosecutors say right now there's a gap in Kentucky law that prevents them from punishing many of the actions leading to child sexual abuse until it's too late. Republican State Representative Marianne Proctor says she's trying to change that, filing a bill that would make grooming a crime for any adult. Her measure of success?
I think if we stop any pedophile from harming any child, we will hold the offenders accountable.
I asked whether it could be difficult to prove intent, especially in the social media age where people are communicating constantly. Prosecutor Lewis Kelly of Boone County telling me this.
It's going to be circumstantial. How are they communicating to this person? Why are they communicating to this person? Does this person have any reason to be asking these questions or doing these things?
Christy Gray used to review sexual assault cases for the Commonwealth Attorney's Office in Louisville.
Certainly, this is a different tool that might allow earlier intervention in some cases where it hasn't yet crossed into that area of the greater harm.
The Gordon family tells me they'll continue to advocate for this bill until it's law.
It made me feel good to know that they're dealing with such a horrible thing.
And from what we're hearing from Republican leadership, the legislation has a good shot. In Frankfurt, Isaiah Kim Martinez, WHAS 11 on your side.
Kentucky House Speaker David Osborne of Prospect tells us that this bill is a priority.
And if it passes, grooming would be a felony charge in many cases, especially when it targets a child under a certain age.